welcome back to my channel. My name is Camille Miley, and I'm here today with my special guest Natalie, my sister, who somebody requested that she come. Funny, the request was made by somebody named Natalie, but anyway. Today we are going to be doing the video that I promised on my worst things about living in France video. It's called Best Things About Living in France, and we have a longer list. Talking, and let's get to the video. Do you want to start? Okay. This is really weird. I'm not used to doing this. The first thing on the list is the location. So we have proximity to a huge diversity of landscapes. Like within a 3-hour drive, we can be in the Pyrenees, on the Atlantic coast, on the Mediterranean coast, in the Massif Central, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
the
hills,
cows, stuff like that. So anyway, we have a lot of different landscapes that are at a close proximity. Like in the States, there's a bigger diversity, but it's further away. In Indiana, the nearest beach, other than Skills Lake, is like 20 hours away minimum. Next,
so you have the proximity to different locations, and also you're in Europe, so you're next to a bunch of different European countries. So within like a 10-hour radius, we have probably 20 different countries. 27 countries within a 20-hour drive. We have Spain, Germany, Italy, and then we have the ones that are further, you know, like the Nordic ones and everything. A lot of those countries we can get to. It's called the Schengen area, and it means pretty much liberty of movement. Like you don't even need a passport to go from one country to another. You're just allowed to go. And also, as European citizens, we can go and we can live in any country of the European Union, like just like that. We want to.
And it's not only the members of the EU that are in it, like there are a couple countries that are in the EU that aren't, but like Iceland, Norway, and Switzerland are also in the Schengen area. So we could potentially go to there.
So, you know, in normal time, we can go through the borders right now.
And there's a common visa policy for all the Schengen area countries, so you can move from one to another without filling out a different visa for international travel. Number 3 is the cultural advantages. So we already covered the different countries that you have access to and all the different landscapes too. But there's also like old cities, medieval castles. There's one near here. It's like within a 1-hour drive. It's called Carcassonne, and we go see that when people visit because it's like a real castle.
It's like, I don't know, from what, 13th century, 15th century?
I think it's like, yeah, the 13th.
I don't know. It's funny, like people in America, they're like, oh my gosh, you know, this thing is so old. It's from the 1700s, and I mean our city, the church in our city or something, it's from like the 1200s or 1300s.
I think it's like from the 1100s.
Everything's old here.
Yeah, so cool. Like you have all the downtown areas and cities have all these little twisty roads. Like everything's not parallel and perpendicular here. The buildings look really cool here. There aren't as many skyscrapers. But a disadvantage to that is the tourists, which I didn't cover in my other video, but there are a lot of tourists. I mean, like France is the top tourist destination in the whole world.
Paris is the top tourist destination.
Another, my
personal favorite. The best part of being in France is the food. The food is great. The bread is great. The cheese is great. I hear the wine is great. I mean, there's a lot of really, really good things. The bread is like the best. For the most part, American bread is just gross. Like I have to have the French bread. Oh yeah, and the French pastries and stuff
that you can get at the boulangerie.
It's
very good. Chocolatine. The chocolatine are the best. So the next one, which is going to be a little transition into our next topic, which is education. So public transportation. What? Well, it's public transportation. Okay. So anyway, I said in my last video, if you watched it, that a lot of people to go to high school use public transportation. Or like they walk or bike. I take the bus, she takes the bus. There's a lot of public transportation around here. Like I already covered this in my last video, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but like you have a bunch of different metros, buses, companies,
trams,
trains.
That's in the big cities, but then also between the big cities you have the TGVs and you know, different trains, and so you have a lot of, you know, options. There's like train stations everywhere. You can take the train anywhere.
And there are a bunch of like bus routes, say to the Pyrenees. There are buses that go by like a couple times a week.
The accessibility is pretty good in general.
Accessibility, nice one. Next.
So kind of the topic of school and work and stuff. Vacations, we have a lot of vacations. So yeah, maybe the school year is a little long, but we have 2-week vacations. We have one around like October, November. We have one for Christmas. We have one in February. We have one that's called Easter, which is like around April. And then we have our summer vacation, which is from
July
to
June. September.
Yeah, about June to September. So yeah, that's pretty good. We have a lot of vacation.
Yeah, we have 4 months total.
2 weeks is very long for vacation. I mean, people, you know, during their school vacation, they'll go.
A lot of people like around here, Airbus is a big thing, so a lot of people get like trips to Mexico and
vacation and strike. So you know, we have
The
good.
2 basics of French culture. Next is the educational fees. Like, colleges here do not cost $20,000 a year. They cost 50 euros for a master's degree. I looked it up.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
like,
free. I mean, it's free.
a lot of the
We
public
live in a
universities are
socialist
free.
country. I think if you're not French, you have to pay.
Yeah, but
They
it's
just
a very
changed that
small
rule.
tuition.
But it's not expensive. Even the private schools, they're not expensive. You can get a really good education. For,
Yes.
you know,
I have a couple universities that are very good in France. I looked this up like 5 minutes ago. The Université de Paris Sud,
these are all in Paris.
Sorbonne University, and École Normale Supérieure.
I mean, but there's not just universities. There's the Grandes Écoles thing where like
it's
you
not
take
the
this
same
like no.
Oh,
There's
okay.
universities where you get, you know, like your bachelor's degree or master's usually or whatever, and then you got this thing where you do 2 years of really intense preparation. It's called prépa, and you can do it, you know, either science, literature, economic, and you do for 2 years, and it's like really intense. And then you go to a Grandes Écoles for I think 3 years, and it's these really top-rated schools that you enter on competition, and then Yep.
So anyway, that is an
It's all
advantage.
free. So also going to school in France makes you look really smart. In France here we're graded on a scale that's out of 20, and 10 out of 20, anything lower than that is failing, and 20 out of 20 it's like impossible. No one gets 20 out of 20. So when you translate with the transcripts, like on mine anywhere from 13.5 out of 20 up, it like translates to an A or an A plus.
Oh, really?
And so it makes it really easy to get like a 4.0 GPA and make you look
Yeah.
really smart. If I didn't have my sports grade, volleyball from 10th grade dragging me down, I would have straight A's. Thank you, volleyball. But
Oh, she's not complaining.
it's
4
kind
plus.
of tough, and like the what you get at the end of high school, it's pretty prestigious. Like, you know, don't tell anyone, but like everyone gets their back, and it's kind of not worth what people say it's worth, but you know, it makes you look smart. So
Next is the weather, which some would consider an advantage. I personally would not, but anyway, the weather here is very temperate. Like, the climate is climat océanique, I think.
I don't know, but anyway, the winters they're not that cold. Maybe unless you live like in the way north, but even then, it doesn't get that low
Or in the
below 0
mountains.
Celsius. I don't think it ever gets below 0 Fahrenheit. We don't have as much like, you know, crazy snow, and during the summers it's not humid, so it's like
It
can
depends
get
on where you
warm,
live.
especially in the south. It can get pretty warm, but it's like a dry heat, and so it's pretty comfortable. We don't have air conditioning. It's very
Conditioning.
sunny a lot of the time. At least in southern France, you know, it's sunny, it's nice.
The Riviera.
Besides,
It's
if you get
90%.
hot, as we already said, you can go to the beach, which is less than 2 hours away.
Yes. Yeah. And the last point that we have on this list, so number 10.
So we
No.
have, you know, a socialized state. It means that we have really good healthcare benefits. The state, you know, pays for most of it. Well, we pay taxes, so like we pay indirectly, but because it's state controlled, it means that there's not exorbitant like drug or surgery prices and stuff. I mean, I don't know, you know, I'm not a professional on this, but I think it's a lot less expensive, and the state takes care of most of it.
You get your little green card at 16 years old. I'll put a picture like here
Carte
of what it
vitale.
looks like. It's your carte vitale, and you go to the doctor's office.
You pay,
You don't-
and then
you
they
pay?
swipe the card and you get reimbursed.
Oh, okay. I think that's all. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If we forgot anything, just comment it below, and
Be sure to hit that like and
subscribe button
And
for more videos like
me.
covers, original songs, and various videos with my sisters, sisters, and family. So, I will see you guys next week.
Hey, baby. So this is Lexus, and we got her, I think, in November. She's so cute. So, let's go out. Go ahead. And this is Rosetta, her stuffed animal, so I'm just gonna put her up there. Hey, baby. So cute.